It was a dark and stormy night in the year 1920. Sydney had just returned home from a long day of work in the city. She lived in a quaint country home, surrounded by nothing but fields and forests for miles. As she entered her house, she couldn't shake the feeling that something was off. The wind howled outside, rattling the windows and causing the old house to creak and groan. Sydney lit a candle and made her way through the dimly lit rooms, feeling a sense of unease creeping over her. Suddenly, she heard a noise coming from the upstairs. Heart pounding, Sydney slowly climbed the stairs, the floorboards creaking beneath her feet. As she reached the top, she saw a shadowy figure standing at the end of the hallway. Panic surged through her as she realized that there was an intruder in her home. Without thinking, Sydney turned and ran back down the stairs, but before she could reach the front door, a hand reached out and grabbed her. She screamed as she turned to face her attacker, only to see a masked figure standing before her, a glint of malice in their eyes. Sydney tried to fight back, but the killer was too strong. They overpowered her, dragging her into the darkness of the house. Sydney's screams echoed through the empty rooms, but there was no one around to hear her cries for help. As the killer closed in on her, Sydney's mind raced with fear and desperation. She knew that she was trapped, with no way to escape the clutches of the madman who had invaded her home. In a final act of defiance, Sydney fought back with all her strength, determined to survive the night. But as the killer's grip tightened around her throat, Sydney's struggles grew weaker and weaker. In the end, there was nothing she could do to stop the inevitable. And as the life drained from her body, the killer disappeared into the night, leaving behind nothing but a trail of blood and a house haunted by the memory of a senseless murder.